While the mood of the nation is positive on the current dispensation, the CSDS survey reveals unemployment is a key issue for the voters. The foremost concern for the voters in India are rising prices and unemployment, as revealed in the pre-poll survey. About 62% of the respondents surveyed villages, towns and cities expressed that securing employment has become increasingly challenging. 62% of people feel that getting job is difficult, 13% stayed the same, 12% says easier. That's the first part. The second part, whom do they blame? So the 21% blame the union government, 17% blame the state government, 57% blame the both. So it brings me to this question. It really pinches, roti, kapda, makan pinches, Arun. And this has been like time immemorial campaign. But then, one, will it make a difference when the person go to the ballot? Secondly, how important do you think this will be in this election? It's a two-pronged question to you, Arun.
I think it is not going to make a difference because unemployment and inflation, these two are and third, I would say, the slow growth of agriculture or the stable condition of, farmers. So, or the farm sector. So these three issues, right since the first general election, these issues have been there, and I think these issues fail to make any political impact because I think to a large extent people have also accepted, every government has its own limitations beyond a point. One. Second is that I believe the challenge for this government and where it could have done better is improving the skills. I think the skill development program uh, should have been more effective because I don't think there is a dearth of jobs. I think there's a dearth of employability, employable people. That skills are missing because in every industry you go, people are finding it very difficult to get skilled people. The problem is that our education system is such that we are just churning out graduates without any skills. So I think that is a fundamental thing. But now the new education policy has come. So I hope that we might see, some results. We might see results because this new education policy is oriented towards creating a pool of people who are not plain simple, degree holder graduates, but who are effectively employable. And as Dr. Verma said, the entrepreneurship model has also been picking up. In fact, if you go into the ancient Indian history, India was always, a country of entrepreneurs. नौकरी लेना जो है वो या किसी के लिए नौकरी करना बहुत ही खराब माना जाता था जो है तो आई थिंक वी नीड टू गेट those ethos back and I believe but I don't think that
Okay, so
this is
yes,
going and as
other
you have
panelists
seen
need to come in. You are saying that's not going to make a difference. Professor Biswas, employment, price rise remains an issue. Do you think it's going to pinch the government this time? Or other issues at play will override them? Professor Biswas.
No, unemployment is certainly a major issue and it will determine the vote swing this time because the younger generation has a very strong feeling about unemployment. The so-called myth about entrepreneurship and it's not much progress in the area of entrepreneurship and only giving some mudra loan didn't really make the youth feel empowered and make them feel comfortable with the employment scenario. They are losing income. The wage plank is going down. The real wage is not rising in the country for the laboring class and for the middle classes. And therefore, there is a rising disaffection due to unemployment. And everyone perceives that the government policies, be it central or be it state government, are directly responsible for this kind of a plunge, downslide in the employment scenario. Therefore, this is very important this time. Added to that, is inflation because domestic saving has gone down to the 5% of the GDP, the lowest since 1947. So therefore, you can see that there is a strain in the pocket. Every day, people are not able to get that amount of nutrition even, working class people. So therefore, everywhere there is a desperation. And by sensing this desperation...
You're saying it's going to be a bit of a problem. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a problem. I've got Matthew Vesselvarai, Dr. Verma and Brijesh left. Matthew, फर्क पड़ेगा इससे?
फर्क आज के डेट में 2024 इलेक्शन में नहीं पड़ेगा. But let me make one important point.
नहीं क्यों नहीं
See,
पड़ेगा? नहीं क्यों नहीं पड़ेगा? You have to tell me क्यों नहीं पड़ेगा?
See, COVID, post-COVID, a large number of workers who left cities and migrated back to the villages, many of them have not returned. The other thing is, an 18-year-old boy, a first-time voter in 2014, who voted for Mr. Modi, is probably still unemployed today in 2024, 10 years later. But फर्क इसीलिए नहीं पड़ेगा because the larger Hindu खतरे में है and the larger Islamophobia of which has been successfully propagated by the BJP is there. Let us, I am not on the camp that believes that is not there. That is very much there on the table, and that is the only agenda of the BJP. And that will work in this election. This is the last election where this will work for the BJP.
Why do you say this is the last election? Why can't it work in
No,
next election?
2029 it will not
I
be.
was in school,
Every
people
cult-
used to say,
every
when
cult has an
BJP got
expiry
90
date.
seats, this is the best BJP can get. I still remember I was in
Every-
Sadar Patel Vidyalaya and the argument was, अरे भैया UP Bihar के बाद तो मिलेगी नहीं. When I became a journalist in 2000, in 1999, 1998, the number had gone to more than 180, and by 2007 they won elections in Karnataka. So why do you say this will not
Trees
work?
do not touch the sky. Trees do not touch the sky. Every cult has an expiry date. So the BJP cult will also have an expiry date.
That's a strong word to use. Dr. Verma, I'll come to you for this.
Yes, Karthikeyan, what you want me to comment on?
Yes, absolutely. I want you to respond to Matthew.
Karthikeyan, I think unemployment is a problem that has also figured in our data. Inflation and unemployment has figured in our data. People are worried about it, and there's no doubt about it. But what is our finding in our study, that was a pilot study, that it's not going to be an electorally impactful, variable. So that's one thing to remember. And why I'm saying so, because there are a few things which, as my predecessor speakers were saying, that the youth is very agitated about, but the youth is at the same time also sensitive to this fact that the employment model in the country, there is no employment model, a better employment model with any other political party. They have seen the Congress party, they have seen other parties also in between, and they have seen the BJP now. And they are now very well exposed, they are very well educated, that they understand that employment doesn't mean jobs. Employment, as Rajesh was very rightly, or some predecessor speaker were very rightly said, employability has become a problem. So employment is a problem, but at the same time, employability has a problem. And the third thing is that the demography, the kind of magnitude, that the numbers that we are adding every year, that is a problem. And the fourth thing is that the use of technology is a problem. Technology has shrunk so many jobs. So all these things, they ultimately leave only one alternative to any incumbent government or future government to promote self-employment, promote skill of the youth, so that they do not starve. They have to do something. I am very sure about it. But I don't think that employment is going to be an electoral issue, impactful electoral issue.
Okay, I think that's very cool. That's very coolly put, Dr. Verma. Do you feel that despite the pinch of saving, price rise and employment, it's not going to be a working issue?
I'll finish my answer in 30 seconds flat. Karthikeyan,
You can take a minute. We have a minute.
This is not going to be an electoral issue, not that much of an electoral issue, because there are various other factors at play. The issue of Ram Temple at play. People feel that, that their
National
persecution
security?
has come to an end. They feel that, that the government has broadly, delivered what they had promised.
National security?
National security could be also, but I think, more or less, I think Ram Temple and issues related to that now you are having a dominant hand in the narrative is something which is very, very satisfying for most of the people you interact with. They agree that inflation is a rise. They agree that, certain things need to be done vis-a-vis unemployment and all. But the dominant narrative and theme is this. My only worry is, and my only, issue which baffles me is that if 62% people are talking about unemployment, and if 50+% of people are concerned about inflation that much, then who are the people who are feeling achhe din? That is something which I'm not able to understand.
Only thing, okay, I respect
survey.
I respect contrary opinions. I don't have much time. I feel that achhe din, Brijesh differs, but I feel that Achhe Din and the problems you personally feel are not mutually exclusive. You can feel that the things are better outside, but maybe they have not touched you, so it becomes a matter of delivery. But ultimately, it's also a question of a lot of things. It's just not a question of one thing. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the survey, the most important thing is that the Ram temple, and I say this again, the Pran Pratishthan, the Ram temple, the aura that has been built is going to pay dividends to Bharatiya Janata Party.